As we gather here, friends, today at the closing of this momentous national conclave, we look back on a rich day of interaction, of involvement, of deep thought, and I believe of a lot of fun. But I rise not merely to give concluding thoughts. I rise to rekindle a conviction, to echo the conscience of our republic, and to reaffirm what binds us all, a deep, abiding and unshakable commitment to the idea of India as envisioned in our Constitution. The theme that guides this valedictory, in particular, the constitutional compass, Congress's enduring commitment to democratic India, is not a slogan, nor is it an ideological flourish. It is in truth the anchor of our political being and indeed the moral compass of our national destiny. The Constitution of India, friends, is not a cold legal contract, nor is it merely a governance manual. It is a living, breathing testament to the plural soul of this country, born of a freedom struggle, shaped by civilizational wisdom and nurtured by democratic yearning. The Constitution is both a map and a mirror. It shows us the path and it also shows us who we are. We are its architects. We in the Indian National Congress respect this not merely as a constitution, because we believe that we are its architects, its trustees, and its custodians. Friends, it's important to remind ourselves and to remind the nation that the Congress party was not invited to write the Constitution. It was in fact the party that birthed the Constitution, or rather birthed the conditions necessary for the creation of the Constitution. We did not inherit democracy. We fought for it, we framed it, we fostered it through every difficult phase in the life of this republic. And yet today we stand at the precipice of a dangerous reversal. The threats to our constitutional fabric are no longer abstract. They are not theoretical. They are here, tangible, corrosive, and deliberate. Parliament, once a temple of reasoned debate, is today reduced to a formality. Dissent silenced, scrutiny throttled, and legislation bulldozed. Federalism, we discussed in the last session, once the bedrock of our plural identity, is being hollowed out through central overreach and financial strangulation. Investigative agencies created to uphold the rule of law have now become satta ke sevak, political foot soldiers in the hands of a vengeful regime. And just to digress for 30 seconds, I didn't interrupt in the federalism session, but federalism is a remarkable word. It doesn't find a mention anywhere in our Constitution. Our Constitution is the longest in the world, and it doesn't find a word anywhere. You find the word, if you Google the Constitution, you'll find the word federal coming many times, but that's about the federal court, the court prior to the Supreme Court, not about federalism. And yet, in a most remarkable turn of fate, something which is not mentioned in the Constitution has been held way back in Keshwananda Bharati, way back in Bommai, to be part of the basic structure of the Constitution, the heart, soul and spirit of the Constitution. The very institutions that were meant to check the executive are now bent into submission. And through all this, a chilling message is sent and tried to be sent to the people of India. Conform or be crushed. We have to be clear कि ये कोई सामान्य शासन नहीं है. ये संविधान की आत्मा पर एक संगठित हमला है. This is not governance in the service of the people. It is power wielded in utter contempt of accountability. Today's ruling establishment quotes the Constitution in public and violates it in practice. They bow before Ambedkar's statutes, even as they dilute reservation policies and criminalize protest. They proclaim Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, but foster a culture of exclusion, of erasure, and of entitlement. Let us therefore call this regime what it truly is: a carefully curated theatre of democracy, hiding the machinery of authoritarianism. They may have captured headlines, but they have lost history. They fail to understand that India is not a theocracy, not a monarchy, and not indeed a marketing project. Some people believe in India as a marketing project. India is a constitutional republic, governed not by might, but by mandate, not by force, but by fraternity, one of the least understood words of the preamble. One leader, one thought, one voice. It sounds like an echo chamber, not a true republic. In the midst of this darkness, let the light of Congress legacy shine even brighter. We don't claim to be, and we have not been perfect. No movement or institution ever is. But our journey from freedom struggle to framing the Constitution, from shaping institutions to expanding rights, is one of relentless self-correction, but along with principled resilience. We enacted transformative laws, from the RTI to Manrega, from RTE to food security. What were these? These were not populist gimmicks. They were actually manifestations and transformations of the preamble's promise: justice, equality, fraternity, liberty, etc. We brought liberalization without losing our liberal soul. We made mistakes, but we never betrayed the democratic contract. हमने सत्ता की सेवा की, लेकिन संविधान की सीमाओं में रहकर. And so, as this plenary session draws to a close, let us remember the struggle before us is not just electoral. It is existential. It is not about changing a government. It is about saving a republic. The choice facing India is stark and clear: a politics of domination versus a politics of dialogue, a governance of fear versus a governance of freedom, an India driven by one man's ambition or an India governed by the collective will of a people. This is not merely a political battle. ये भारत की आत्मा के लिए युद्ध है. In this valedictory moment, I speak not with despair, but with determination. For this party, for the Indian National Congress, has always arisen when India needed it most. We rose in 1947, we rose in 1980, we rose in 2004, and therefore our rising is inevitable. But this time, we will not rise just to defeat a regime. We will rise to revive a republic. We will rise to defend the dignity of every Indian, the rights of every minority, the voice of every protester, and the dream of every young citizen who believes in an India that is inclusive, democratic, and just. To all our very senior colleagues assembled here, as also to each of you distinguished and honored delegates, let us return from this plenary not as veterans of nostalgia, but as vanguards for the future. Let our experience become our energy. Let our legacy become our leverage. Let us reclaim the constitutional soul of India, not by rhetoric alone, but by reason, by readiness, and by resolve. अब समय आ गया है पीछे देखने का नहीं, आगे बढ़ने का. Let every state, every district, every university, every social media page hear this united voice from this stage, that the Congress is not retreating, it is reawakening, that we are not tired, we are trusted, that we are not merely remembering the Constitution, we are reviving its relevance, clause by clause, right by right, value by value. If they If they wield the power like a truncheon, we will bear the Samvidhan like a torch. In closing, friends, let me invoke the spirit of the freedom struggle, not as a memory, but as a method. As Gandhiji said, the best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. Today, let us lose ourselves in the service of the Constitution, for in doing so, we shall discover the real India. Let this plenary be remembered as a turning point. Let it be said that here, in this hall, the Congress did not just resolve to fight, it resolved to lead. It resolved to build an India that is more democratic, more inclusive, more humane, and more constitutional than ever. Thank you very much. Thank you for many, many things. Above all, for being here the whole day with this remarkable patience and involvement. As I leave, I must remind you that lawyers never break their contracts. They don't breach contracts. I made a contract with Priyanka ji. That contract led her to spend 2 hours or more than 2 hours in the morning and come again here. But reciprocally, there is no contract without consideration under Section 25 of the Contract Act. So she put a condition that I'll spend as much time as you like, but don't ask me to speak. So please don't embarrass her, please don't embarrass me. Thank you very much.